A well-regulated militia, beginning necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So, my speech today is about the infringement of gun rights, and the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. In 2010, 40 to 45% of households owned a firearm. And that is a huge number. That's roughly half of society has owned a firearm in their household. There are three broad types of a firearm. The first one are handguns, the second one are rifles, and the third one are shotguns. You have to be 21 to buy all of these firearms. And the rifle and shotgun are all considered long guns. 0.5% have had to use a firearm for self-defense during a situation. That totals to be about 162 incidences per year. So thus, there have been some incidences where there have been people that have threatened other people with their firearm or their weapon, and they've always had their weapon always on them, always, because they have concealed carry permits. And in 1993, a survey of 3.5% had to use a firearm for self-protection, property, and home. And what that's basically saying is it's pretty self-explanatory as it is, but 3.5% had to use a firearm for their self-protection, their property, or their home. So somebody was threatening their personal safety. And they can only if there's somebody running after me with a knife or a firearm and they're threatening to shoot me, I have to go through my head before I would pull that trigger to say, is this a real threat to me? Do I really need to pull that trigger? And besides all the statistics for people owning a firearm, hunters are a huge contributor for firearm safety and a huge firearm advocates. There are 20 million hunters in the United States over the age of 16. And 12.7 million of those hunters use a rifle or a shotgun during that season, during that gun deer season. 2.9 use muzzle loaders. 4.5 million use bows and arrows. So that's like your bow and your hunting bow, which are very expensive, besides the point. And those are just numbers that are out of this world because those hunters are willing to really want to keep their firearms because they enjoy that sport that they hunt. They enjoy hunting deer. They enjoy doing all of that and having a blast doing it with friends. In 2015, and this is in Wisconsin alone. In 2015, 612,377 gun deer licenses were sold through the end of a 9-day gun deer season. That is a huge number because that means 612,000 people all went deer hunting this season with a rifle, and I think that's such a cool statistic to show how many people in Wisconsin own a gun. In 2015, there were only 8 hunting incidences or accidents, and 5 non-fatal and 3 that were fatal. So, hunters have all gone through that training, have all gone through that hunter safety course, how to use a firearm. They've been taught how to use it by a trained NRA professional instructor for firearm safety. Now, here's a little bit of a sad statistic. In 2016, there have been 41 homicides in Milwaukee. So from May of this year, from January to May, there have been 41 homicides alone. 41. That is a ridiculous number. 80% of those homicides have all been done with a firearm. So that number equals about 33 out of those 41 homicides have all been done by a gun. And the huge problem is that it's not the gun. If you had a gun on the table, and if you put it on the table and you said, "Gun, I want you to shoot somebody," it won't go off because there's not somebody at that other end pulling that trigger. The huge problem is the people that are allowed to have them. The people are the problem. If you give a criminal a gun, you will expect what will happen. He will go off and he will do evil things with that gun and do murders or homicides or threaten other people's lives. It's very sad to see people like that. Now, there is a illegal way that a criminal can get a firearm, and it's called a straw sale. Basically what that means is that somebody that has a nice clean record can go into a gun store, because they do background checks when you purchase a gun to make sure that you're okay mentally and mentally okay if it's on the record, and to make sure that you're not a criminal. So if you have a friend that is okay mentally and never had a criminal record, they can go into a store, buy a gun, and then they can give that gun to you. You're a criminal and commit more crimes. And they still commit those crimes, which are bad and evil, yes. But the big problem is the people. The people that get a hold of a gun can cause evil and harm. But the hunters that are responsible and know how to use it will always end up losing. Do you think it's fair to have 100 people that have committed crimes and evil in society have an unsafe environment for everybody else and have the right to bear arms be taken away because of them? The hunters would sadly be cut out, and all the guns would be gone because of the 100 people that don't know how to use one, compared to the 600,000 hunters that know how to use one, and they would lose them all. Thank you.